From overeating to being avoidant in relationships, we tend to self-sabotage not only ourselves, but the good things coming into our lives. And it's only in understanding the root reason why can we actually heal it. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. Self-sabotage is when we unconsciously ruin the very thing we want the most. And that can come in the form of relationships, careers, adventure, any kind of things like that, but it can also come in regards to our self-image. So I'm going to start with self-image and then I'll go into the relationship side of things. But we kind of self-sabotage ourselves because we don't feel good enough, we don't feel worthy. This comes from our unworthiness wound, but it actually stems even further than that, our self-disgust wound. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a self-disgust wound until I actually found it. How do we self-sabotage ourselves? By not looking after ourselves, by overeating, overindulging. You know, the way I'll describe it is, and the way I've noticed it is, what we do in self-sabotage, we create the image we already see for ourselves. So for me, I'll give you a couple of examples. Like back a few years ago, I used to squeeze spots, but I didn't have spots, right? But I still squeezed spots on my face, my arms, my legs, my chest, everywhere, my whole body. I looked like a fucking pizza. But I didn't look like a pizza before I actually attacked myself effectively. But when I realized what I was doing, I realized it was self-sabotage. I thought I was ugly. So I actually created the image I perceived. So anytime I was in a bad mood or anytime I got low, it's like comfort eating. It was comfort squeezing, which wasn't fucking comfortable because I'd literally I'd end up ruining my looks. I'd have to wear makeup in order to actually cover up everything I did to ruin my face and ruin my body. So this has happened again with me recently. Well, actually not recently. In regards to food, I've always had this comfort eating. I've always had a problem with comfort eating. Overeating when I felt sad. I used to eat my feelings, or I used to just overeat when I felt sad. And like, no matter what I did, you know what I mean? You can change your habit. Like literally, I stopped buying sweets. I stopped buying shitty food. But I replaced overeating sweets to overeating savory stuff. So like the habit didn't go away, or the reason for the overeating didn't go away. It was only in discovering really what I was doing. And I knew, right? When we have an unworthiness wound, we don't feel good about ourselves. We feel like shit. And there's this inner turmoil of feeling like, what's the point? No one's ever going to love me. No one's ever going to be attracted to me. You know, no one's ever going to see me. So I'm just going to eat. You know what I mean? I feel like shit. I'm ugly anyway. I'm just going to eat. But like, this isn't really conscious until you start healing. And for me, it even went deeper. And when I discovered my self-disgust wound, I realized I actually felt so disgusting. I felt like so disgusting because of my past, because of my childhood, because of my upbringing. I just felt like this disgusting piece of shit. And I was effectively eating to create the image I had. And that was it. Like, you know, you're eating because you're literally you feel like shit. You're like, no one's ever going to care about you. So I'm just going to fucking eat my feelings away. I'm going to eat myself into oblivion because of the sheer fact that no one cares, no one gives a shit. And this can come in not just overeating or ruining my image. It can come in certain things like not exercising, not discipline, not learning, not expanding, not growing. You're literally saying to yourself, I don't deserve to evolve. I don't deserve to be anything other than the thing I am now, or the thing I perceive myself to be. So that literally you're saying to yourself, I'm going to stay in my little box forever. There's no point in me doing any inner work. There's no point in me evolving. No point in me exercising. No point in me eating well. I'm just going to fuck myself up because I'm fucked up anyway. And I know we're not consciously saying that, because obviously when you're in the energy of, you know, when you're unconscious of why you're doing a thing, you end up just doing it. And you do it and you do it and you do it. And you just feel like shit. Every time you eat, you feel like shit. Every time you sabotage, you feel like shit. But at the end of the day, you're just like, I feel like shit anyway. So I'm just literally creating the image I have. So when it comes to relationships, for example, we sabotage before we get rejected. So if you've got a fear of abandonment and rejection, this stems from your unworthiness wound again. You're literally saying to yourself, I can't let somebody into my life because they're going to hurt me. And you're like, everyone else in my past has hurt me. So before this happens again, I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to run, I'm going to sabotage, I'm going to avoid. You know, I'm going to, other things that people tend to do as well is literally effectively act like an asshole. So some people actually will act like an asshole in order to drive someone away, because effectively they're saying, I'm an asshole anyway, and if I pretend to be an asshole, they won't stay, and then I won't feel rejected. But you're once again creating the thing you fear the most. So like with the image or your self-worth or your self-disgust, it's like I'm creating the thing that I see in my mind. So in a relationship context, you're creating the fear, the rejection and abandonment, the thing you fear the most. And I it's so fucked up. Like, it's like literally that person's going to hurt me anyway, so I'm just going to hurt myself so that they can't hurt me. And what you're actually fucking doing when you do that, it's not only are you sabotaging something good coming into your life, you're actually treating that person the way you don't want to be treated. So not only are you sabotaging yourself and fucking yourself up and hurting yourself, you're actually hurting another person in the process, which is not fair. And this is why we have to start healing our wounds. Now, when it comes to career, pivoting, fucking pivot. People need to learn how to fucking evolve and change. Do you know what I mean? If something's not working, fucking pivot. Do you know what I mean? But we don't pivot. We end up staying in that unhealthy, toxic work dynamic, narcissistic boss energy, because we're like, we and like, this is the thing. For example, this imposter syndrome. So when you do start a new career or start a new venture, or even if you start a new course, this has happened for me so many times. So like when I was on when I started to do higher learning, I literally start a new course and I'd be like, I can't do this. Is not. I don't belong here. I'm fucking out. I'm out. And I kept saying to myself, this is imposter syndrome. You're going to sabotage this because you're fucking afraid of it. This is the thing. We think we're not good enough to evolve. We think we don't have the potential or the means or the skills to be something that we're not. Like, we think we're not. So effectively, for me, for example, I grew up, it was very, very little, and my idea of life, I suppose, was literally work really hard, work like a dog, do the shitty job that doesn't, do anything for your mind, body, or soul destroy yourself, follow the sheep off the cliff, and that's it. So I felt like, I had this poverty consciousness. I felt like I couldn't achieve anything. I felt I didn't deserve anything. And this was all unconscious as well. So when I started to succeed or started to evolve or do the courses or do the work or transition into coaching, all that kind of stuff, I was like, no, you don't belong here. You don't fucking belong here. Go back into your little box. So there was this, the inner dialogue making me want to self-sabotage. It was like, literally, don't do this. Like, quit. Don't do this. It's too scary. So effectively, if I wasn't aware, because as I was healing, obviously, I was aware of this stuff. I was aware of self-sabotage. I was aware of imposter syndrome. If I hadn't have been aware of those things, I would have given up. I would have went backwards. I would have sabotaged the very thing I want the most. And this is what happens. And this is why we have to be so careful on our journeys. Is that you ask yourself, what do you really want? What are you here for? Do you know, what do you really want for yourself? So when it comes to your image, obviously you are beautiful, but it's not just about beauty. It's about health. You know what I mean? Do you want to slowly but surely, have your health deteriorate because of your self-sabotaging through food, your lack of discipline through exercise? Or do you want more for yourself? Like, you have to start to see that you're the beautiful person that you are. And this is one thing I realized with the self-disgust wound when it comes to image or how you feel about yourself, is you're not your past, you're not your childhood, and you're not your parents. We have to stop identifying, and this is the self-sabotage when it comes to relationships as well, because that's it. You're not your past, you're not your childhood, you're not your parents. It's all the fucking unworthiness wound. The same with the career or the evolution into something different. You have to understand, we keep identifying with this past version of ourselves. We think that just because I was lower middle class growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, my dad was an alcoholic, my mother left. Do you know what I mean? There were, it was just a poverty consciousness, lack mentality, victim mentality, struggle mentality. You know what I mean? And then obviously my toxic relationships, I was abused, so much. And, even my mother leaving, all of these kind of things, I had this image of, you're a useless, disgusting piece of shit. The exes that I had confirmed confirmed to me that I was a useless piece of shit. So I've spent my whole life identifying as this disgusting, ugly, useless piece of fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? And like, I was so afraid to identify as my new self that I sabotaged it. Or I was, sabotaging some of it. Do you know what I mean? So like, we have to remember that just because you grew up in a certain dynamic, just because people treated you like shit, doesn't mean you have to identify as that. Because this is the thing. You learn your past, it's learned behavior. You grew up in an environment that you're born a clean slate. You learn the behavior around you. You adopt an identity, a persona in order to fit into the world. But the world that you were in wasn't the world for you. And literally you ended up identifying as the person that was treated like shit. So you identified as somebody that was unworthy, undeserving, unbeautiful. Don't know if that's the word. But you know what I mean? And that's effectively how I felt, that I didn't deserve any of this. I didn't deserve love. I didn't deserve a healthy life. I didn't deserve abundance or success. And I sabotaged a lot of it. Like, thankfully, when it came to my career, I didn't. And I'm evolving enough to know that I don't sabotage relationships anymore either. But when it came to my image, I was still effectively overeating because I was like, you're not worthy. You're a disgusting piece of shit. And the word disgusting just kept coming up over and over again. And that's because I was identifying with my past. So when we self-sabotage, it's because we're identifying with an image that isn't a part of us. Because we think we don't. Like, I remember even when I first started losing weight. Like, I sabotage. Like, I've been yo-yo dieting like for so long. But I went through a phase where I really started eating healthy. And I actually lost so much weight. And I tied up my hair one day and I could see my jawline was so thin. And I was like, oh my God, this is the thinnest I've ever been. And what happened? I started eating again. Because I was like, oh my God, that's not me. Oh God, no, it's only fat Angela should exist. That's effectively what I was saying to my mind. So ever since then, I've had trouble again with my eating, because I literally was like, I can't be like this. I don't identify with this new person. I have to go back to the identity I used to have. And it's really fucking sad. And like, obviously I'm trying to get back into the energy of the new identity again, the healthy identity. It's not just about looks, it's about my health. So this is the thing. I have to start identifying with new me, or the actual me, the person I was here to become. This is it. You're not your past. You're not your childhood. You're not your parents. You are who you choose to become, or who you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be the person that learned all that behavior. You're supposed to be the person that unlearned it. And the only way we can stop self-sabotaging is by understanding that that deep wound that causes it. Why are you avoiding relationships? Why are you avoiding taking risks or sabotaging the adventures or like, that's another thing. Like, so an opportunity lands on your lap, and manifestation is fucking real. So everything actually does come to you easily when you believe in it. And this is a funny thing. You're going to be manifesting for ages, and then all of a sudden it comes to you and you're like, that's too good to be true. What you want? It's a scam. And that was the thing. Like, when I first started coaching, like this huge £5,000 course landed in my lap for free. And I was like, it's a scam. I'm not clicking that fucking link. And it turns out it was one of the best courses I ever did. But like, this is it. I thought everything was a fucking scam. I was like, no, nothing is. Everything is too good to be true. So that's why we sabotage things coming towards us. It's like, no. This isn't real. I don't identify with this. But you have to transform into your new identity. Let go of the past belief. Let go of that inner disgust, that inner unworthiness, and understand that you're not your past. And the only way we can stop self-sabotaging is by deleting the past effectively, because you're not that person. Doesn't matter the decisions you made back then. You made them based on based on your wounds, based on your trauma. You know what I mean? You're making better decisions now based on your healing. You're not that person. You're the person you are now, or who you choose to become. So let go of that past, let go of all of it, because this is your chance to let go of those wounds and stop self-sabotaging. Don't be ruining things that are coming into your life, especially when it comes to your destined path. You know what I mean? You're evolving into something amazing. Don't ruin it because you haven't healed the wounds of the past. Don't let your past steal your future. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today. And I'd love nothing more than to help in your path. Also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie, where I share a guided meditation every week. The info for that is in the description box. And I'm also hosting a Feminine Empowerment Workshop on the 8th of March, Wednesday the 8th of March at 6 p.m. RNGK time, for all of us ladies to get together and heal and grow together. This workshop will be on self-discipline equals self-respect, which is actually connected to the self-sabotage one, so it'll be really helpful. If you want information for that, please comment below.